What's going on, everybody? Muhammad here, Rights of Fathers, coming back at you with another video. Winter is upon us, so it's windy. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, this video today is going to be about the X factor. This is probably the only video I'm going to make to talk about women. I feel like it's important to cover this subject because obviously family court is tied to women. So in this video, or this channel I should say, is anything dealing with men and family court, fathers, dads, and family court. So naturally, we are gonna have to talk about women. I mean, even though the intent is not like bashing them or like we're against women or anything like that, but because a father or a dad's natural adversary is gonna be a woman, so we're gonna have to deal with that. What I mean by X factor is, I remember when I was a kid, Lauryn Hill had a song. It was titled X Factor, and you know, I like a few of her songs. I mean, I'm not a Lauryn Hill fan or anything, but it's just the title that stuck out, you know, to me for all these years. When I was younger, and I heard this X Factor, I was so inexperienced. I was trying to figure out what the heck does that mean? What is even X Factor? And and I was like, in my naive mind, trying to figure out what in the world that meant, and I had no idea. It wasn't until going through a divorce that it suddenly just came back to me. I was like, oh, that's what she meant. I see. Now I know exactly what she means by X factor. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is, when you go through a separation, whether it's a divorce or a breakup, and you have a child involved, there's always two different perspectives. There's the male perspective, and then there's the female perspective. Now, I don't give a crap what people, you know, think about, like, you know, that, oh, all men and women are equal and all this bullshit. We are equal when it comes to the law, in some respects, you know, but when it comes to psychology and human behavior, we are absolutely different in terms of even in biology and physiology. We're different. Physically, we look different. We all have different traits. In some ways, we have certain traits, and in other ways, women have, you know, different traits than us. Like the obvious ones is, you know, the anatomy. You know, I don't have to tell you guys, I'm sure you learned this in elementary school. The fact that women can bear kids, and we can't. The fact that we're the ones that produce, you know, the seed to create life, and they're the ones that cultivate this life, right? And then harvest it into a child, right, or a baby. So the reason I'm saying that is because if you study science, which, you know, I did growing up, science was actually, you know, my first path that I took. So I have a little bit of experience with science. So everything that we do is based on our past, right? Our ancestors, what they went through. All of our ancestors' past experience is what helps shapes us today. I'm not saying it in a scientific term, but I'm just saying it in layman's terms, so everybody that's not, scientifically inclined can follow me. But our behavior is determined based on our ancestors' past experiences. So because of that, we see the world differently, right? That's why there's a concept called men are from Mars, women are from Venus. It doesn't mean that, the book is, like the absolute truth or anything, but it's just an analogy to say that we both perceive the world differently. We both have different sexual strategies, and we both do things that are based on our self-interest, right? But that's self-interest. It's not it's not congruent, right? So when you take us back to the hunter and gatherer days, right? Males they're more exposed to danger. You had to fight like lions and the elements of nature in order to procure your sustenance. And if you are able to get a mate, a woman to raise a child, you had to be the one that's able to secure resources, right? And then you also have to be the one to be able to defend against, other males from trying to take her, right? So our behavior today is based on all of those past experiences. And when it comes to women, their behavior is also affected by the all the way back to the hunter and gatherer days, where they want that because they're not primarily tasked with procuring resources, but mostly bearing children, their behavior and psychology is affected by that. So we're going to fast forward to the future. Women's psychology is primarily based on the idea of raising children and finding the man that can get the most resources and protect them, and in a caveman kind of ways, like they want like an alpha kind of guy, right? So our sexual strategies are completely different. So what the heck does this got to do with family court? Everything. Everything. I'm not protecting family court, of course. The whole reason why this channel exists is to educate you guys about family courts, but from their perspective, you gotta understand that they are dealing with all kinds of people that are from people that are literally insane to people that are not ready to be parents, to people that have all their stuff together, but in most respect, the caliber of people that they deal with are people that don't have their stuff together, right? So from their perspective, they're really dealing with people that have that have made bad decisions, right? And that's the reason why they end up in court. So the reason I'm talking about this video is about X Factor is because just think about this. When you were watching cartoon as a kid, right? We were watching cartoons mostly that are geared for boys. So we're watching like superhero kind of cartoons and maybe funny type of cartoons, right? And the girls or the women, they're watching like Disney kind of cartoons, right? So and a lot of it's pampering, you know, women on making them believe that they're all princesses and that kind of thing, and to find a Prince Charming. So what you don't realize is Prince Charming is somebody that's already accomplished. Like he's a prince, you know. He's already went through his rites of passages and conquered a bunch of kingdoms and has the capacity to protect that kingdom, right? It's somebody that is really complete, right? So why am I saying this? So the reason why family court is the women, you know, do put guys through difficult times by passing them over to family court is because at some point the guy has lost his path, right? At some point, you know, she perceived you to be as quote unquote Prince Charming, but over the course of time, the guy got too comfortable and her view changed, right? And when there's this and when she decides to move on because of you know, our different psychology, women are more geared towards able to just move on to our next person, but a man believes in the whole fairy tale of, you know, love and you know, I understand that, you know, we're not in the hunter and gatherer days, but if you look closely, you'll see that we were not given the right information. We were basically taught, we were the only ones that, men are the only ones that actually believe in love and loyalty and all these things. And in fact, that's like one of our measurement of, or one of the major factors that males find attractive in a female, right? But a female, what she finds attractive in a male is totally different. She's looking for like an alpha, somebody that's complete, somebody that's got his resources and that kind of thing. So so they're better. So the minute that they see that you're not that person, they're just gonna move on to the next guy that they feel is a better mate for them. Somebody that has all those attributes. So men find it incredibly difficult when you're going through family court. Like 90% of your problems is your emotional ties to that woman. While that woman, she's already moved on and found somebody else and completely has forgotten about you. That's the reason why she's using the courts to come after you. I would say like 10% of women's perception, you know, idea is, or I should say, their motivation is really has nothing to do with you. It's more 90% of it is to really get away from you. While the men, they're hung up on, you know, maybe they feel like it's a betrayal. They feel like, how could she do this to me, and all these things. It's all because of your skewed perception of reality. So I'm making this video to bring this awareness to you guys. Like, when you're going through family court, you got to ask yourself, like, okay, am I really going into this based on some kind of leftover feelings that I have for this person, or am I really fighting for my child? You have to really think about that. You got to separate, like, you got to completely separate the two, like your feelings for this for this woman, and then your child, right? You live in a modern world today, so you can't mix those two, or it's going to damage you. It's going to take you, like it took me years, you know, before I was able to separate the two. You got, like, what are you fighting for? If you're fighting for that woman, the family court is not the venue for that. And in all actuality, like, you shouldn't be caught up to this chick. You should just let her go, because she's completely forgotten about you. And when family court, you know, when you come to family court, you know, they understand all these things, right? And part of their reasoning for removing a child from your life is because you're caught up, you're still hung up with this girl, because they've seen all the text messages. They've seen, you know, your behavior. They know you're still caught up. Your mind is not clear. That's the reason, you know, men are like, they're damaged, you know what I'm saying? Like, I personally know somebody that committed suicide going through this. Like, this is not a game, man.